So I'm super excited. I just got my Google Pixel phone in the mail yesterday. For those of you who don't know about the Google Pixel phone, it's essentially the sort of Ferrari of Android phones. Designed, spec'd by Google, HTC built it. It is a really beautiful piece of hardware. It's on par finally with the iPhone. We've got this really nicely designed, beautifully made, kind of looks a little like an iPhone with a couple changes. Fingerprint sensor on the back. Fingerprint sensor works really well, by the way. It's got some interesting integration that no other Android phone has right now, like Google Assistant. You can just say, okay, Google, how far is it from Munich to Frankfurt?
It's 398 kilometers to get to Frankfurt, Germany from Munich, Germany by car.
Okay, Google, open Waze. Boom. No more remembering where apps are, putting them in folders. I can just say what app I want to open. Okay, Google, open Sun Surveyor. Boom. Crazy. So really, really, really great integration here. It's got an amazing camera. You know, it's right on par with iPhone. People are debating whether one's better than the other. It's just as good, that's for sure. I mean, well, at least as the iPhone 6. The iPhone 7 I haven't really played with, but this thing has a fantastic camera. Does 4K video, really, really beautifully stabilized, 1080p out the front camera. And it has this crazy assistant built into its app called Photos that I connected my old phone to the new one. I had a G4, an LG G4. And basically it went through all my old photos last night and asked me, if I go here into albums, it went ahead and asked me, you know, do I want to keep these animations? And it was picking out old photos from my old phone of things like Pike when he was little. There are a bunch of pictures that it threw together in a GIF because it knew it would look good. You know, some of them are freaking great. Some of them you click, no, I don't want to save that. But it had this whole set of like 40 things. Do I want to save it? It even made, it made little collages that look like photo booth shots from pictures, you know, that are from great times in the past. And some of them are awesome. You know, it's just fun. I was shocked that it would do it with new photos taken from the phone, but the fact that it goes through my whole old library. And this phone comes built with a special service from Google. It'll upload every photo, every video. It doesn't matter if it's 4K, doesn't matter if it's full resolution. It takes it all, stores it in the cloud on Google Photos for free for you, and then goes through and does all these little adjustments. Another thing that kind of blew my mind, I gotta say, was its ability to recognize people. And then it just asked me these different faces' names. And you know, say I hit Pike, boom, I run through here. It's got all my old photos from my old my old phone are automatically cataloged if they have Pike in them, and it did an amazing job. So you know, just some fun, crazy stuff beyond having a great camera. And when you jump into camera, you know, you can set up rule of thirds. There's some fun. There's slow motion video, very, very similar to the iPhone. You can pick which part goes in slow motion. It's got a great panorama stitcher that you can set up in high, medium, or low resolution, so you can get some pretty ultra high resolution panoramics. It's got a photosphere, a lens blur, which you kind of move the camera really slowly when you're taking an image. I'll report back on some of this stuff as I'm using it a little bit more. You just swipe to the right to get to video. You know, really, really nice app, simple. I'm used to the LG G4 having all of these crazy manual controls. Not so much in this, but the images that come out of it are just great. I'll actually jump over to the computer, show you a couple pictures here. So after a single day, I'm not going to do any kind of comprehensive review of the camera. This image, just a little grab shot in the park, taking Pike for a walk with my Aunt Denise, is kind of emblematic. It just does a nice job. There's not a whole lot of settings on the Pixel, but this is straight out of the camera. I feel like its choice of color saturation, sharpening, contrast, really, really nice job. It just is handling everything in the background kind of iPhone-esque. One thing it rocks at is high dynamic range. This is actually what the camera, you know, what the screen was showing me when I was photographing off my porch on kind of a little bit bright cloud light, you know, softly lit through the clouds, the trees outside the porch of my back door of my house. And this is what the little HDR processing in the camera rendered. You know, there's the path to the studio, my long commute to work every day. And it just does an amazing job rendering a really natural looking high dynamic range image. And I found that to be the case across the board, indoors with windows that are really brightly lit, everywhere. Super natural looking, great. And its auto mode seems to do a good job of determining when it should use it and when it shouldn't. The other thing that's cool about its HDR processing is you never know it's happening. You can shoot a burst of 28 photos, you can flip to video, just keep recording. There's never a little bar that runs across saying HDR processing. It just happens in the background. When you go through and review the images afterwards, it's applied. It's really awesome. I got a few little videos to showcase here from today. This is just Pike. This is a 4K shot of Pike in the farmer's market here just outside Portland and Hillsdale. Just, you know, really nice footage. We ran into this little ferret named George and his buddy, the dachshund in the park. Its little internal stabilization seems to work really well. And here's a little slow-mo 4K footage. I see it 120 frames a second. You know, the details are looking a little crunchy, particularly up in the trees, but oh my gosh, this is a phone shooting 4K 120 frames a second. That's just crazy to me. I'm really impressed. The other thing that's really cool is whatever mode you're in, whatever app you're in, even if the phone's turned off, you double tap the power button and you're ready to shoot in less than a second, and there's no shutter lag. It's just bam, bam, bam. So finally, those of us that love Android have a great camera. So I know a lot of you are saying, well, how come you're not an iPhone user? Everybody uses iPhones. Well, I like the customization that Android gives you, and Android's always had a few features that are out ahead of iPhone. We can argue about this or not, but back when I started using Android, iPhone didn't multitask and Android did, and then Android did turn-by-turn directions through Google Maps before iPhone. And there were numerous reasons why it was a little bit more user-friendly, and I got used to customizing my phone and having widgets like this that show me the weather or how much data I've used in my Google Fi plan, or you know what's happening with the sunrise and sunset and the moon phase and the moonrise and moonset where I happen to be at the moment. You know, just the ability to sort of set things up. Got music players without ever having to open an app. And now this new Google Assistant is pretty crazy. I'm sure that Apple will rapidly step it up and bring Siri up to speed in the near future, because this Google Assistant works really well. So after one day with the Pixel, I'm a very, very happy Android fan. One more thing. If you're getting this phone, I highly recommend you get it direct from Google, even if you're going to use it with Verizon. I'm using it with Google Fi, which is this cool service. 20 bucks a month gets you unlimited texting and calling, particularly Wi-Fi calling anywhere worldwide. For $10 a gigabyte, you use mobile data anywhere in the world. If you go over your plan, you pay $10 a gigabyte. If you go under, you get credited $10 a gigabyte. But if you're going to use it with Verizon or any of the other carriers, this thing's unlocked and designed to work on any system out there. So you can just slap your Verizon SIM card in there. The reason to get it from Google, you're going to get over-the-air updates every time they do a security patch or an operating system update, instead of having it run through Verizon, which, trust me, my experience with Verizon over the last few years is that they're very slow to get those updates out. So, little word of advice, grab it for the same price from Google Direct.